Okay, so it's not an either or, it's an and.
I agree. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Well, of course, I read your book, so no. Thank you for clarifying, and I think it's important that we address those kinds of questions because there people throwing buzzwords over there. So why we do things and why one thing versus another. So that kind of brings me to the next question. Throughout the book and actually in your writings and your articles, you advocate scanning or the use of scanning. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about scanning? So, what's scanning?
So in a way, and I mean Gibson's quote, "The future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed," is perhaps the starting point. So you already have pockets in the world. Some business people trying a new marketing approach, some consumers developing new behavior, and so on. And you want to find those pieces and redistribute them in a way that you can make sense of them. So the way you do it is you essentially look at the world and you try to find data points or developments, events that strike you as unusual, something that is perhaps outside of what you would expect and outside what common business practices are. At this stage, we're not saying that this is successful. It might be simply a mistake. But by collecting those various events, and putting them together, you can develop a little bit of a template what the future could look like. And you grab those data points, you put them into what I call a pattern, which gives you an understanding. So it's not about one person doing something and perhaps not understanding how that approach should work or maybe having no idea about the business world. It's there's a method to the madness. More people, more organizations are trying to achieve something, but at that stage, it might still be an experiment. You put this together, you develop a pattern which is more robust than a single data point. And then over time, you develop a narrative. Now, narratives have a huge advantage. We just talked about big data. Big data is important, but most people really have a hard time envisioning what data, statistics, how this comes together, and what it means for the future. A narrative I can follow. Everybody can follow narratives because this is the way we communicate and we understand, we intuitively understand if there are fallacies or if there's something that strikes us that that doesn't really come together or it clicks. You're going like, yes, that is true. That could be a change for the future. And these narratives are also easy to communicate. I can give you a short story, maybe even an elevator pitch, and you might go like, yeah, that's perhaps something to consider. So you go from small data points that strike you as unusual, you group those, put those in patterns, and then you really think about what it means and develop a narrative that you can communicate to provide an idea where strategies might run into hurdles, or perhaps where new strategies could prove successful.